Hi, hello, and welcome back to another Drag Race outfit ranking video where I will be sharing my top 10 favorite looks from a season. And today I'm going to be tackling Canada's Drag Race Season 5 as we are on the day of the finale. I thought it would be fun to do a top 10 that didn't include the finale looks and give myself a bit of a challenge because those tend to kind of dominate my top 10s. So without further ado, let's jump in. Also, my cat is on my lap. I can't tell if the mic is picking up his purring, but if it is, that's what the ambient sound is. So, number 10 belongs to Jaylene time for the slow-mo runway. Girl, let me tell you, this was one of my favorite looks that entire night. I don't think many other people did the thing the way that Jaylene did. The complexity of these fabrics, the way they've been manipulated and handled, and the way everything in this garment has been constructed, that it's extremely glam, it's extremely red carpet ready, and there is something that is so fun about it as well with these bright colors. I love the blends of these deep blues and the turquoise. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous gown. In the number 9 slot is the Virgo Queen's Grunge and Glamour. Let me tell you, this look was so perfect for the era that it was reaching towards. The incorporation of the plaid with the chains, the big like 90s Queen Latifah hair with this fitted glove. Ooh, it is just good and it sparkles like crazy. This truly is one of my favorite Virgo looks of all time, but this one had such a specific POV that I gravitated towards it a little bit more than everything else. In the number 8 slot is Xana's Nomi outfit. So let's talk about these colors. These colors are so clashing in many different ways, but I always think it makes a garment pop when you have an intense color pop like on this yellow zebra pattern, mixed with the accessorization and the hat as well as the staff. It is a badass look. And I already loved Xana's promo look. It set her up to be the fashion girly of the season, and this look absolutely met the standard and expectation that I had. It's a cool twist on the power suit. Plus, I normally don't like chaps, but this just works. Xana don't, but Xana do. In the number 7 slot is Umagod's promo look, and I stand on business. This is absolutely one of my top 10 promo looks of all time. I ain't joking, bitch. This, honestly, when I saw it, I screamed, I laughed, I went and I just studied the entire thing. Using B as a reference point for a promo is, I think, kind of niche. I don't think a lot of people would really know what to do with that. What Uma's giving me is there was this Banjo Tooie character. I think her name was literally just Miss B or Miss Honey. And she had gigantic boobs, a huge set of hips, and just snatched, plucked waist. And that's what this is reminiscent of. It's like if you took a bee and made it slutty. Costume bee party, but make it hoe. I love the silliness of the bee nips. I love the fuzzy cowl because bees are quite fuzzy. Using these feathers as details on this intense gold with all this shimmer, the pop of that blue on the makeup because everything else is monochromatic bee. This look is Betsy Johnson levels of thinking. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with Uma. She was my number 1 from the drop. And I was so disappointed we didn't get to see her entire runway package because I would have loved to have seen what else came out of that bonkers brain. In the number 6 slot is Michaela Couture's statuesque runway. This got some heat in one of my Drag Race reviews, and I don't get it. I think this cobalt looks stunning on her. People said that it looked costumey, and I completely disagree. It looks rich, it looks opulent. Maybe the gold is not in the right contrast to pop on this blue. Like maybe if it was just a little darker, maybe it would have looked more luxe, but I think this is fun. I love the shoulder pads because I'm a slut for shoulder pads. Love all the details that are on it. I think this is a really solid look from Michaela and one of the most memorable to me because of how bright it pops, and that is something that does help a piece of fashion iconography stay in my head, is the colors that have been used to make it blow up, to make it pop, to make it luxe to make it lush. I really love the entire idea of this for statuesque. Being an Egyptian figure, which we often see in busts, and bringing that to life, I think that's brilliant. In the number 5 slot is Perla's Nomi outfit. I love the McQueen of it all. I love the spray paint that's on here that's got her name on it so that you remember that it's her. I very much enjoy the lace bodysuit underneath it with just that little pop from the face kini of her eyes, mouth, and then the tops of the feet. Anytime you do a severely covered up look, you have to have one element that is showing skin so that it doesn't just wash out in whatever you're covering it with. And I also think that this particular covering, which is this floral lace, I don't think it's overpowering to the rest of the garment. I love, love, love this bob with the dip dyed pink and the bangs being pink. It's all very well done. Perla was that girl for me this season, and you'll find out from the next couple. In the number 4 slot is Perla once again for Alien Superstar. I love the C-rings on the top of her head. The incorporation of all these eclectic items, like there are acrylic nails on this to pad out the details, the little pearls that are applied. It's all so well done. It reminds me of a few different sci-fi flicks that I've seen. And I think with Alien, people typically go for like green and blue, but you don't typically see this pinky alien. The length of the skirt is so cute. Like, take off the cock rings at the top and just let this be an Ariana wig, because those are still pretty popular right now. Change everything that's pink to flesh toned, and this would still be absolutely couture and interesting, and you could see a superstar wearing something like this. I'm obsessed with Perla. I'm obsessed with her fashion. I'm obsessed with the package she brought this season. This was tops. In the number 3 slot is also Perla's Nomi, and I really love this entire look. Doing a reference to Jack the Ripper on the Drag Race stage is something that I don't think we've ever had done. Maybe someone in the UK has done it and I'm currently forgetting, but the tightness of the waist and how snipped in that is with the bust and this bustle of white lace, the blood slash, this skirt that has this kind of dingy olive underneath it is a great detail, because when you think about that era, they didn't have a lot of bright clothing. I love the way that she's walking. It's got this absolute charisma, uniqueness, nerve, talent about it. It is dripping in that. The fruity little hand. Love this big upscoot wig. And the makeup is perfection. Absolute perfection. Perla, again, is that girl. In the number 2 slot belongs to Minnie Wang's Alien Superstar runway. Again, I think the idea of going blue or green is kind of typical for an alien, and I commended Perla for going outside of that color scheme. But I love even more the idea that Minnie took that typical green that we see, but added layers of complexity through the colors with the yellows and this white pearl color, as well as the purple paillettes all over it. I think gives it an interesting detail. I love that it's muscular. Minnie's brand is very much, I think, hyper femininity as well as hyper masculinity, and those are incorporated extremely well into her drag. I know we just had another pit crew member on España. I have not watched their season, so I'm not really familiar with their drag, but Cameron Michaels was another muscle queen and tried to go on the far end of femininity instead of blending that in with her muscular body. And so I love that Minnie was never afraid to step away from that, wasn't afraid to say drag doesn't have to just be womana. It can be, and you can have some elements of that, but incorporating your actual real muscular body into your drag and not being afraid of that, doing that unapologetically is, I think, even more commendable. I love the headpiece. The makeup is so freaking cool. And then just this little tiny modesty loincloth of the paillettes right where the puswacha is, brilliant. Every detail has been covered. It looks like a warrior on an alien planet, and I'm obsessed with that. And finally, in the number 1 slot, edging you all to the very end, is Helena Poison's statuesque runway. Now, very few runways in Drag Race history have made me gasp and hold my breath the entire time it was walking. There have been a lot of gowns and garments and looks that have come down the runway where I went, and plenty that I went, and plenty that I just went, oh. Helena's made me internally gasp. I took every bit of air into my body and I just slowly let it out, but didn't breathe again until she left, because it is just that good. She looks like a weeping angel from Doctor Who. She looks like that classic Medusa statue you see in all the media. Even the way that the hair was constructed, it has a bit of movement on the runway. The way that the dress has been painted so that it does have this high contrast of the dark points and the shadows, and the way that those sit with the highlights on top of it. This is an artistic brain right here to be able to look at this, find out where the light should be hitting it and where it would kind of reflect, and then also where the marbling would have aged and sort of turned a little more onto that gunmetal gray rather than this light marble color that it would have been originally constructed from. I think the way that the arms look is cool, because even those have some, what I can only assume is like sponge blotting on them to add a little more darkness to it. The makeup is so freaking cool, and the way that it blends so seamlessly into the hairline. This is an impressive garment. It looks both beautiful and scary, which is what I think of with statues. They're gorgeous, but are they gonna start moving and grab you and get you? Helena knocked it out this week, and this is easily one of my favorite looks, probably of all time. Certainly almost all of the Canada franchise. I think Fierce has a couple up there as well. Fierce's Bog Witch, as well as that painting, are pretty high up there. I think Helena may have knocked out Fierce from one of my top 5. Like, if I'm whittling down every Drag Race look always and forever, Helena is definitely even getting into top 5 territory. I'd have to really sit down and look at all of my favorites and determine from there. But I can't imagine this is not in top 5, if not top 3. God, this is a good look. And that has been my top 10 fashions of Canada's Drag Race Season 5. And remember, just because your favorite didn't make it up here doesn't mean I thought it was crap. It just didn't make my top 10. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know some of your favorites in the comments below, and I will see y'all on the flip.